Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. This video, I'm going to talk about Tomura Shigaraki. Shigaraki is probably my favorite villain in My Hero, besides maybe Toga. Because he's the most interesting, at least. And I really liked his growth as a character. Definitely his growth as a villain. Because let's be honest, he was a pretty shitty villain in the beginning of the series. Like, man, he was just whiny and annoying. Because, like, anytime anything didn't go his way, he just threw a little temper tantrum, little fit, and cried like a little baby. No, he didn't cry like a little baby, but he, like, threw a little fit and stuff. I always thought it was fascinating that he, like, scratched his face. That was an interesting, weird quirk, and I thought the hands were interesting. And then we learn later why he has the hands on, because I'll talk about his backstory. So, his grandma was All Might's successor, All Might's mentor, one of All Might's mentors. And she was his grandma, and she left his dad because that was her child. She abandoned him, but in her mind she was doing good. She was keeping him out of danger and protecting him, but in the kid's mind, his mom abandoned him. So he had this, like, grudge against superheroes, and Shigaraki wanted to be a superhero as a kid. He didn't have a quirk yet. And then his sister, his dad would beat Shigaraki every time he wanted to be a superhero, and he'd beat him and, like, punish him and all this stuff. And for, like, basically being a kid and wanting to be a superhero, like, who doesn't want to be a superhero? Anyways, especially in a world where, like, superheroes are so prominent and, like, that is what the focus of, like, the whole universe is. But anyways, then Shigaraki's quirk manifests. Well, his sister snitches on him. Then his quirk manifests. He kills his dog, kills his sister, kills his mom, kills his grandparents, kills his dad. But he, like, enjoys killing his dad, and he, like, goes insane while he kills his dad. And then, you know, he runs away. And then All For One finds him. The evil guy. The potato-looking motherfucker. The overpowered villain. Well, he finds him. And then he gets the hands, because the hands are, like, his family members, and he's supposed to calm him down. You know. That's basically his backstory. And that was honestly, out of all of the villains' backstories in My Hero that we get so far, at least as far as I've seen, his is probably the best and saddest. It's very, very much makes sense for his character, but his quirk, like, always had the power. His quirk is overpowered, let's be real. It decays stuff. He doesn't have to touch it. Used to be he had to touch it, like, with all 5 fingers. He had to touch the person, and it would decay. But he doesn't have to do that anymore, which makes he could be away from them, and they'll just die. They'll turn to dust. They'll incinerate. And we're in, like, this war arc thing, at least in the anime. I am reading the manga, but I'm not that far yet. I'm on volume, like, 9. But he had this battle with Redestro, I think his name was, and he, like, beat the shit out of him. But it was, like, a really, really good fight, and then that guy joined his cause. So now he has this, like, giant, like, army with him, and they all follow him. And then he has this, like, giant rock guy that actually accepts him, and then the doctor dude actually accepted him too, and, like, was gonna put a bunch of quirks inside of Shigaraki, but then that got, you know, interrupted. But Shigaraki's had this whole, like, hatred towards heroes ever since he was a child, because all the people, the society that they live in, normal people wouldn't help him. Normal people wouldn't try to help this kid that was crying and, like, bawling his eyes out and, like, needed help. Nobody would help him because the superheroes would do it, and none of the superheroes would do it because another superhero would do it. So it was like he was just... That made him so mad. And All Might was the symbol of peace. So that was his biggest target, was that guy. And then, it is what it is. Anyways, a lot of the stuff he's done in the series, he's failed. But somehow it works out for him. Like when they attacked the USJ and then they lost to Nomu, he started whining like a little bitch. They captured Deku and they had captured Bakugo and had a conversation with the guy. They're like, look, you seem like more of a villain. You want to join us? And Bakugo like basically spits in their face and like, fuck you. Like, why would I want to be a member of this evil organization? I want to be a hero. That's what I'm going to be. And then he gets saved. And then the whole Stain stuff. Like, the only reason that the League of Villains grew as much as it did and got, Dobby and, the Spike Lizard guy, which I think is the worst guy. And then Mr. Compress, is that his name? The guy with the top hat? And, Twice and all of them is because of, Stain. And Stain, everyone thought Stain had something to do with the League of Villains, but he kind of did and kind of didn't. Like, they brought him in and they talked to Stain, and Stain basically said, no, you guys are being villains just to be villains. You guys are playing villains. I'm trying to do what needs to be done, and I'm trying to reform everybody. I'm trying to get rid of all the useless villains, and I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. He was a vigilante, basically. But, like, he was murdering people, so he murdered, 33 people or something like that. Stain's ideology was pretty interesting, in my opinion, and I think he is still probably the best villain in my hero. If you call him a villain, I call him a villain. And his quirk was weird, but his ideology made all these people, because after he got captured, I'm pretty sure he's not dead, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, his ideology forced or made people think that he was connected to the League of Villains because of the Nomu and blah, he was seen with them. And then, you got all these, people that were followers of Stain's code, Stain's moral conduct, and they wanted to be in the League of Villains because of Stain. And I think that kind of ate at Shigaraki, but also, he's getting all these strong people. But also, Shigaraki did not like Stain. Not at all. Granted, most people that have been invited to the League of Villains have had, a kerfuffle or, a fight with Shigaraki, or have tried to kill Shigaraki in some way, shape, or form. And his evil presence has grown so much, and it is gonna be incredibly hard for Deku to beat him. Incredibly hard. His power has grown tenfold, but I guess Deku's power has grown 100-fold since the beginning of the series. And their resemblance of each other is very, very interesting. Now, my one problem with Shigaraki is he doesn't really seem to have I like morally gray. My favorite villains are normally morally gray. They have some code of conduct, some sort of, not code of conduct, but some moral code that they just won't break. And I think Shigaraki's only thing that he won't break is, I don't think he'd kill his friends, if that makes sense. I think he considers Dobby and those people his friends, and I don't think he'd kill them. That's the only because what Shigaraki wants to do is destroy. He's willing to destroy everything. He's willing to kill anybody, which is an interesting concept. And I do like the psychopathic villains. They're very interesting to, like, read about and watch, because they'll do things that no one else would do. No one else would even think of doing, they would do. And he has definitely done that. He has 100% done that, without a doubt. But it's just, I don't know. Anyways, Shigaraki has definitely grown as a character, as I said. He has become the villain that I think is going to push Deku, or Izuku Midoriya, to the next level. Because, hear me out here, I think he's going to kill somebody. He's got to kill somebody. He's going to kill somebody important to Deku to make Deku hate Shigaraki more than he already does, to want to beat him even more, to grow even more, to go beyond plus ultra on this bitch. Like, he doesn't need a reason to grow, obviously, because the villains are all attacking, and somebody's got to take out Shigaraki, and obviously that should be the guy with probably the most overpowered quirk in Deku. But like, Deku and Shigaraki are very, very similar characters, very, very, very similar, because Shigaraki if he would have had a supportive, like, person like Deku had, because they both wanted to be heroes. He had the opposite of that. He had an abusive father, and Deku had a supportive mother and an absent father, which, you know, and they both wanted to be heroes. One became a villain because his family life was not good. Like, you should never, ever, 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 ever hit a child. Never. No matter what they do, no matter how mad you get. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.